All right, welcome in 98.5, the Sports Hub of Joe Murray. Oh, what a night. We had two games tonight. The Bruins took care of business here on 98.5, the Sports Hub. And how about the Bees? We'll get to them later on, but man, offensive night for them. But we made an executive decision tonight. Normally we would go right into coverage. But because of a potential playoff matchup, we went in progress to the Celtics game, and I think it was worth it. We got ourselves a nice finish. We got ourselves a meaningful basketball game. Now, in the end, doesn't mean much for either team. But you know what? Tonight meant a lot, at least to me, about the New York Knicks. Intern Josh here tonight. Big New York fan. He has a look on his face of puzzlement, as shock a little bit there. So I get ready for the trolling, sirs, because it's coming down, and ma'ams. It's coming down. What a choke job from New York tonight. That's what it was. They choked. They choked. I've watched a lot of choking lately, whether it's Duke, and maybe it was Houston in the national championship game last night. New York had the Celtics against the ropes, and they couldn't put them away. We got a lot on this one. Line them up. We're here until midnight tonight. Celtics, the Red Sox play. We talked about the Bruins. And just a lot's going on in the NBA. I'm not overlooking this game tonight. This had a playoff feel. The stars showed up for this one. Coaching really mattered. There was a lot on the line, even though there wasn't a lot necessarily in the standings on the line. As far as pride goes, one team shows why they're the champion, and the other team showed why they are the New York Knicks. We'll leave it there. Of course, this previous headline that we missed was brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. Ready to go. I have a list, if you can see right here, a list of things I would love to get to, and I got to ready to pop this one out of the air fryer, Skaz. So we'll take a quick break. We're here all night. Well, here till midnight, which is all night. We're here all night. Skaz is here. We got intern Josh. I'm Joe Murray. You want to call in? This is the spot to do it. Join us on YouTube as well. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe. You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5. You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5. begins right now. Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
Enters it to Tatum. He dropped it, has it back. Bridges comes out to check him way behind the three-point line. Tatum has it slapped away, but Porzingis saves it, and Porzingis just launches one from half court, and it goes.
Logo.
Derek White dribbles behind the Porzingis screen. Shot clock at 7. Derek White spins to his left. Floats it back to Porzingis. He's going to take the deep three. Got it!
Porzingis say he got fouled then.
8th of the night for Porzingis. Celtics by.
Also had 34 points, holding off Karl Anthony Towns, 34 on the night. He was awesome tonight, 8 of 13 from downtown. He was, I don't want to call him the secondary story to this. Porzingis was awesome tonight. He was impactful. He's been the second best player on the Celtics for about 2 months now. And, one thing I wanted to bring up was in the second half, the Celtics had a huge third quarter. They went up 31-20. They were trailing at half. Well, they got outscored 29-24 in the fourth quarter. Like, New York had this thing wrapped up, not to mention Jaylen Brown barely played. And they were without Al Horford. So down the stretch, no Brown, who, by the way, we'll get into 6 points on the night, struggling. He played 22 minutes, of course, had to hit the 20-minute threshold there for the All-NBA. But they didn't get much from the bench. They got 8 from Pritchard, 7 from Hauser, 2 from Cornette. They went 8 deep tonight. And they'll play on the back-to-back. Jason Tatum played the entire second half and overtime. But when I say the New York Knicks tonight absolutely choked this one away, they did. They choked this one away. How could they not? If this was the Celtics and you're up 3 at home, do you allow the other team to take the shot? For real, think about that. Celtics are up 3 at home. They're about to give the ball to Jalen Brunson. What do? You don't let him take the 3. How do you allow that to happen? And that's what the Knicks did tonight. And to me, there's a lot going on in the NFL right now with coaching. Mike Malone just got fired today on a team where he won a championship just a year ago, a year and a half ago? A year and a half ago. He gets fired. And then you want to watch this display from the New York Knicks tonight and tell me Tom Thibodeau, good coach in the league? That was a fireable offense tonight. That was fireable. Do I think Tom Thibodeau is a good coach? Yes. Do I think Tom Thibodeau is the guy to get the New York Knicks and Anthony Towns and Brunson and Bridges, who stinks, by the way? Do you think he can get this team over the hump? And I'm telling you right now, they had a chance tonight and couldn't do simple math. Don't let Jason Tatum take a shot to tie the game. Again, I'm on the other side of this one. I can't believe the Knicks allowed Jason Tatum to absolutely cook OG Anunoby. Cook him worse than barbecue chicken, like brisket. How do they allow that? So, Memphis coach gets fired. Mike Malone gets fired. You mean to tell me you think that coach and that team is going to do anything in the playoffs? No. Joe Math tells me you foul. Foul. And I'll say it again. If Joe Mazzulla and the Celtics were up 3 at home and Jalen Brunson gets the ball, I foul his ass. Go ahead, Skess.
I'm with you, Joe. I think, the criticism is right. You're supposed to foul when you're up 3 in that situation. I mean, that's I don't know, seems pretty standard nowadays in the league. Like, that's what you do. You don't let them get a 3-point shot, and you certainly don't let the, best player on the best team in the league get that shot off, especially when you're Tibs and you're supposed to be some defensive mastermind. Like, foul.
May I cross sports? Is that okay?
You did say the NFL earlier, so yes, you're allowed to cross sports.
Sometimes, right, when you score, you give the other quarterback too much time, right?
You've seen the Bills do it.
It's happened, right? The New York Knicks tonight allowed Jason Tatum to tie the game. The New York Knicks shouldn't allow teams to do anything. So, is Thibodeau a damn good coach? He is. Did Thibodeau maybe run his team into the ground a little bit tonight? I do think so.
Every night, Joe. That is what Thibodeau does. That is his calling card.
They still should have won this game. I wish I was doing this the other way around. I wish I could tell you it was the Celtics who screwed up tonight, and they were the ones who blew. Because I'd love to say that Jaylen not playing in the fourth quarter was a problem.
Well, I do think it was a problem, but we could do that in the 11 o'clock hour.
That's what I'm trying to say is right now this story's the New York Knicks, and it's giving a championship team, right? Rudy Tomjanovich, never underestimate the heart of a champion. How do you allow Jason Tatum to tie the game?
Joe, that's the same Jason Tatum that I know the great Celtics statistician Dick Leip tweeted earlier tonight with his third quarter buzzer beater.
Because he had one earlier, right?
Was the league leader in baskets with under 5 seconds to go with 22. That one he made in the fourth quarter added to that total 23. SGA second this season with 19. So is that clutch, Joe? Is that good?
Huh.
Do you score the most baskets in the league with under 5 seconds to go?
We've done this before.
Is that
right?
good?
Have we done this? Is Jason Tatum clutch?
Are we allowed to say that that's good?
Oh, are we green teaming right now, or are we just using facts?
I'm simply stating what I read, Joe.
One of the greatest statisticians in the history of basketball,
Dick Leip, absolutely,
is giving you facts about Jason Tatum's performances late in game quarters.
Yes,
but yet he's not clutch.
I'm just asking a question.
I just think that's a pretty clutch stat, right?
I would say I would rather my guy score the most field goals at the end of the quarter than not.
Then miss them.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sure he has quite a few misses as well. He might be the league leader in that, but
he's got the most makes.
Yes, which I would say good.
Good. That is good.
Hot take, good.
My sheet over here. Oh, what I was air frying was Tom Thibodeau should be fired as a fireable offense. I mean, I know we have to go to break, but just let's ponder this one for a minute. Let's pop this one in the old air fryer. After this loss tonight, what are the New York Knicks? And this is what I have a lot to get to. Again, my sheet of paper that I collected thoughts with. This is why you can't take the New York Knicks seriously. This is why. I
would also add Karl Anthony Towns to that list, who played really well tonight.
Karl Anthony Towns had 34 points and 14 rebounds. He was very good.
Won't do that if Al Horford's out there.
But guess what? I can't take him seriously.
No.
I can't take New York seriously. And you know what? Now I can't take Tom Thibodeau seriously.
He's got that Doc Rivers stink still on him, I think.
I think I know what you're cooking. If you smell what the Skaz is cooking. I smell it. It's smelly. May we get into the out of bounds play on the other side, please? I would like to talk about that. And, the bettors tonight. Well. Oh, it was great. We'll get into Jaylen Brown as well. 33 wins on the road. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's the best ever.
It's the second most in NBA history.
Guess what? Tomorrow night, Orlando, right?
Chance to tie.
Hey, New York Knicks fans and Josh the intern. See you guys in the playoffs.
Can't wait.
See you in the playoffs.
The old takes exposed. Save all the audio. I'm not worried about the New York Knicks in the playoffs.
We got to hit the break. I'm Joe Murray. Listen to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
seconds left in the fourth quarter, sent the game into overtime, and, well, they took care of business the rest of the way. They now have 33 wins on the road. They have a chance to break the record owned by Golden State tomorrow night in Orlando. The Bruins won tonight 7-2. David Pastrnak, 3-point night. Morgan Geekie out of the goal as well. Bruins win 7-2. While the Red Sox struggle tonight in the cold over at Fenway, losing to Toronto 6-1 tonight. Garrett Crochet, his first loss of the season, gave up a 2-run homer. And I should have mentioned Mike Malone fired today by the Denver Nuggets. Headlines, they are brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss, the official weight loss program of the Boston Red Sox. Visit awaken180weightloss.com. I'm Joe Murray. Your next update in 30 minutes.
No matter where you go, you're always connected to Boston sports with the 98.5 The Sports Hub app. Download it wherever you get your apps today.
Jalen Brunson into the front court. He'll launch a three at the buzzer. It's good. That'll give us our final margin. And the Boston Celtics have swept the season series from the New York Knicks, and they do it tonight in grand style on the greatest stage in the game. The final score in overtime, Boston 119, New York 117.
The story of the NBA is Mike Malone being fired. If you really want to look at it, the coaches that have won championships over the last, 5-6 years are all been fired, except for Steve Kerr and Joe Mazzulla. Frank Vogel's been fired. Mike Malone today. Mike Budenholzer was fired. Am I missing another one?
Nick Nurse.
Nick Nurse, yeah, he got fired. I mean, it's just you win a championship, and then all of a sudden it's like the pressure mounts, and you're next.
This is like Coach of the Year in the NFL, basically being
right.
like a kiss of death.
Yeah. So I brought it up as a topic, and after tonight, I actually want to give Mazzulla some credit. I wanted to bring up, could Joe Mazzulla be in this case? And where I'm going with it is there's a lot of pressure for the team to win this year. A, they're the best team, but B, with the new ownership, etc. I'm not saying, guys, I don't think they're going to fire Joe Mazzulla. I think Brad Stevens and Joe are almost a package deal at this point. But let's hypothetically say they don't go to the final, and next year they struggle, and the salary, etc. Could this happen to Joe Mazzulla?
I mean, you add a lot of ifs in there, Joe. Anything could happen. I don't see that being in the realm of possibility for the next, even 2 to 3 years.
Yep.
With Mazzulla, I think he's earned some grace, even if things did go somewhat sideways. But I am with you that them not reaching the finals this year would be a failure. And the coach
they did in his first year. Remember that. So if you use the whole body of work. Failed in a game 7. Of course, Tatum got hurt.
Yeah.
I give him a pass. It was his first year.
Yep.
Won the championship the next year playing his style of basketball, right? Doubled down on it this year, and they're best road team in history. So could it, guys? It could. It could. I mean, Steve Kerr said he could be next. Could he?
I think Steve Kerr is much more realistic than Joe Mazzulla, just because of where Golden State is. That I know Steph is still incredible, still at that next level, and with Jimmy Butler, you've extended the window a little bit, but at some point that you are going to have to rebuild and retool there, and maybe Steph stays for that, but I don't know if Steve Kerr does.
May I credit Joe Mazzulla now? Okay, what was there? 11 seconds left. Mazzulla doesn't call a timeout, right? Tatum gets the one-on-one on Anunoby, crosses him up, step back 3, tie game. If he calls a timeout, right? Don't you think New York is in the timeout is talking about a foul, right? They advance the ball to half court. Thibodeau goes, when they get the ball, foul, right? How do you not? This is what I mean. What the difference was not calling a timeout? So in a way, I want to credit Mazzulla for letting it ride with his players and letting them dictate the outcome of the game instead of calling the timeout, getting the ball on half court, them fouling, he goes to the free throw line, then you got to play the game of trying to get a steal on the foul and extend the game, etc. I almost want to credit Missoula for not calling timeout.
Yeah, I mean, this is, because we've already crossed sports, this is reminiscent of, the Tom Brady Patriots teams where you would just wait. Just play your game, hang around. Eventually, the other team is going to screw up. They are going to give you an opportunity. And like, those Brady-led Patriots teams, this Celtics team is talented enough to take advantage of those little mistakes that the other teams are going to make because the Celtics are that talented, because Joe Mazzulla is on top of the details. So in a situation like that, that's where talent and, situational awareness wins out. And that's exactly what happened tonight. The Celtics were, you're never prepared for the team not to foul, but they didn't panic. I think you see a lot of teams expecting that foul sometimes and almost not being as aggressive or having a set. But Tatum was like, I'm taking the shot. I'm not going to rely on them to foul me. And I think he kind of did a good job of distancing himself, where I wonder if Anunoby was afraid that because of where Tatum was on the court, that if he did try and foul him, Tatum was going to take a three anyways and get the 3 free throws. So, I think maybe I'm reaching. Maybe that's a little green teamer of me, but I do think that all of that factors in.
Anunoby says after the game you should have fouled.
Yes, he should have.
But is that throwing the coach under the bus?
No, that's on him.
Did you see that? I'm watching the play right now. He was on skates, dude. Anunoby's a good defender. He is a good defender. On skates. Man, I keep watching that play. What the hell was he thinking? Why would you even try to defend going to the lane? Wouldn't you just let him go to the lane?
One would think, Joe. One would think.
Do you know, this is simple for me, and probably for you. I would love to congratulate the Celtics on winning the game, and I cannot think about if this was the Celtics on the other end of it. I'd be killing the coach. I'd be killing Anunoby. I'd be killing Karl Anthony Towns and Jaylen Brown. And you know who I really would be killing? Bridges. That guy sucks. I thought it was a good move, Skaz. He can't play. He can't play against the Celtics. How about that?
Yeah, I mean, he is a solid player, but the Celtics are not a good matchup for him.
Is the out-of-bounds play in the system? Like, did we cut that as like a play?
I don't believe so.
What the hell was that?
Butterfingers.
You said it. You just allow the other team to screw it up. You just allow them to screw it up. You can't take the New York Knicks seriously. You just can't. And by the way, New York, 0-9 versus the Celtics, Cavs, and Thunder. 0-9.
Frauds, Joe. That's what we call frauds.
See you in the playoffs. See you in the playoffs. On the other side, I do want to get into just Jaylen Brown.
I think the Jaylen Brown thing needs to be discussed.
Just before we get into it, though, is Brown on the floor if he's healthy in that moment?
The fact he's not on the floor tells me everything I need to know that he shouldn't be playing.
Let's say he's healthy. Is he on the floor?
Yeah, he should be.
Okay.
Why wouldn't he be?
And it's just Tatum one-on-one versus Anunoby, same thing?
Yeah, that's your best player gets the ball at the end of games.
Okay. Think about that one. We'll get into that. I know we get to the phones here at 617-779-0985. Well, here he is. Prince Humperdinck's on the line. What's up, bud?
Hi, Joe. Hey, guys.
Hey.
Yeah, so I was thinking about what you were just talking about. Isn't it a thing where if Jaylen Brown gets 65 games playing at least 20 minutes, it's like a big bump, or he's eligible for awards in the postseason?
Yeah.
And they asked him about it, and he said, no, it doesn't have anything to do with that. But now I think there's 3 games left, and he gets 2, you could do 15 minutes instead of 20.
Yes, he played 22 minutes tonight, which is the threshold.
So that's another one. He got another one that was over 20 minutes. And I think in the last 3 games, he can play 2 of them 15 minutes and then he's eligible for all that stuff. I don't know if that's right, but that's what I think I heard.
Well, I don't care, first off. Like, if he wants to get his money, go get your money. And if he
I
does,
agree.
and here's the deal. Does he have to talk about it? No. So
But
I
they asked
don't
him.
care. I don't care. Do you
But
care?
they asked him.
Hey, do you care?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Well, yeah, I
Why do you
prefer
care?
Jaylen Brown get the money. He's trying to fulfill his contract.
I want him to get his money too.
But I want him to be ready for the playoffs. I don't want him to hurt himself to do it. So, I mean, I don't know. It's not like he doesn't have enough money. You know his contract.
Listen.
So,
do you care? You really care about this?
no.
Okay, then. See what I mean?
Well, I got to call with something to say.
All right, fine. Pay Jaylen Brown. Pay
No, I don't
Jaylen
care.
Brown.
I really don't care. But if he wants to try and do 15 minutes in 2 out of the next 3 games so he can fulfill his contract, good for him. If he doesn't want to and he thinks it's going to hurt him in the playoffs, don't do it. I don't know. I just thought I just wanted to see what you thought about it.
Well, I'm okay with him playing 22 minutes and not 40.
I am too. I'm okay with him playing exactly 15 minutes 2 out of the last 3 games.
I think that's
there
what
you go.
do.
He got. Yeah, I think so too. I mean, what's the difference? They're the number 2 seed, right?
Well,
they can't go the number. I'm sorry, what?
They locked up number 2 tonight. Yep.
Yeah, they can't be 3 or 1. It doesn't really matter. So I want him to be healthy. And if he wants to.
So are you saying that he's being selfish, going for the money and not the team when it comes to his health?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying I don't know how bad his knee is. You know what I mean? I think he should do what the right thing is so that they can win a championship. But I can't blame him if he wants to fulfill his contract and do what.
Okay, so what do you think is the right thing?
I don't know I don't know what his knee's like. So I'm not a doctor. I can't.
I don't know either, but.
Well, I think that if his knee is going to get better with rest, F the incentives and all that stuff.
So
you got plenty of money. I think
you want him to make the money, but you don't want him to.
No. He already has his $300 million contract. And if he wants to make the money to fulfill his contract, because that's his job, as a professional, his job is to play. And if he does these things, then he can do it. If he can do it, do it. Make your money.
Okay,
good.
So then what are we worrying about?
Nothing. I'm not worried about it. I want to know what you think about it. You keep asking me questions.
Well, you called me.
That's true. Well, I'm sorry I did, Joe.
No, don't be sorry. No. Let's start over. Let's start over.
No, okay.
Let's start over.
All right.
You don't have much to worry about with the Celtics, so you're worried about Jaylen's knee.
I'm worried about Jaylen's knee, because I want the Celtics to win the championship. So I want to make sure he's as healthy as possible.
Got it. Thanks, buddy.
But if he wants to make money, that's his decision. I don't know how his knee feels. I don't know,
Okay, thank you. So, does he want him to make his money or does he want him to not play? Let's talk about this. You know what? Let's do it. Should he play or should he not? Does he have enough money? We'll do that next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray.
keeps getting better.
Joe Murray on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
It's time and situation. They inbounded the ball quickly. He's coming at us, and then if he's in the shooting motion, you're giving him the 3 shots. So it's, it wasn't off a dead ball situation.
Here they come with the ball. Oh boy, what are we gonna do? Oh, please miss the shot. Please miss the shot. Foul. And then he was so devastated that the team lost the game and beat you. That's what they want to do. And tonight, you had a chance to do so against the Celtics, who are undermined. And without Jaylen Brown, who played their starting 5 and got tested and almost got beat. But you know what? All you had to do was foul, and you didn't. And to give me I wanted to credit Mazzulla for not using the foul. But now Tibs wants to use that as that's why we didn't. And then Anunoby, his own player, says I should have fouled him. So, are you guys on the same page there? And, is the coach and the player communicating? I call this a disconnect. That, to me, is a disconnect. When the coach and the player can't get on the same page, to me, it's fireable. It's fireable. Just wanted to leave it at that. It's absolutely fireable. Listen to this one, guys. Joe, it's so sad and sickening that you can even talk about Joe being fired if the Celtics didn't make it to the finals. Come on, man. The team just won. Give them their props. Don't get into that stupidity. Screaming like the predecessor here. Sir, you're not listening. What we do here on this show is we take stories that happen nationally and localize it. Imagine that. Mike Malone gets fired. A guy who won a championship a year and a half ago got fired. When did Joe Mazzulla win a championship, Skaz? When?
That would be last season.
Last season. I just gave you a list of coaches that have been fired who have won championships in the last 5 years. But I'm sickening and stupid? I want people to open their ears. When something happens in another market, for example, Ovechkin breaks the record all-time goals. What I do is I try to localize it, and I look at a guy like, David Pastrnak, who had a pretty good night tonight, and I localize it. Sorry, it's sickening, and you know what? I don't even apologize. You should be sorry. That's a sickening take. Be open. I have killed the New York Knicks tonight and credited the Celtics all night. I even credited Joe Mazzulla for not calling a timeout. So for you, sir, you're calling me sickening. I just would like to say you are not open-minded. You need to be open-minded about life and about sports. Something that happens in the NBA. How does it affect the Celtics? And my point was this. With all the pressure that the Celtics have to win, if they don't, and by the way, when they didn't a year and a half ago, Joe Mazzulla was still on the hot seat and just got an extension. I don't like people who just think we just sit here and troll. Because you know what? It actually insults me. It insults Skaz. We do shows. We're here till midnight tonight doing a show reacting about something that literally happened. The New York Knicks blew a game. The New York Knicks can't be taken seriously. Tom Thibodeau should probably look in the mirror tonight, and I bet you his owner is saying, we're not good enough. So I'm calling it right now. Mike Malone will be the next head coach of the New York Knicks. Mike Malone should be the next head coach of the New York Knicks. Mike Malone is the best coach available in the NBA. And if I'm the New York Knicks, I do what I can to get Mike Malone.
If you're Mike Malone, would you rather coach the Knicks or Victor Wembanyama?
I wonder if he can. The only reason why I say New York is because you have something there, Skaz. With Wembanyama, you have young players like Castle and Wemby. There's still a lot of building to do there. And listen, they built in Denver, right? They got high draft picks, Jamal Murray. You know, and really the problems have been the injuries to Murray and Porter, right? And you know, how many times have we talked about the fact that Denver has the best player in the planet but doesn't support him, right? So, like, here it is, Mike Malone and the GM get fired, Booth. Booth even said, hey, man, I did the job to my best ability. Did they? Like, I understand letting Brown walk. I get it. They could have kept him, right? They could have. They had Jeff Green. He was old. He was old. How did they replace them? They drafted okay, right? They never surrounded Jokic good enough. I don't think that falls on the coach to me. It doesn't. The New York Knicks, by the way, they traded future assets for Mikal Bridges.
A lot.
They traded Randall, who was in the final year of his deal. Like, they traded what... I think the Knicks gave up more for Bridges than the Lakers did for Doncic. By the way, just to throw this out here, while we're doing it, and it's so sickening, Jokic is going to be a free agent in 2027.
Just quickly, Joe.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Would you like to hear the full Nets-Knicks trade for Mikal Bridges?
Please.
Just to put it in perspective for those who might not be familiar.
Please.
The New York Knicks received Mikal Bridges, Keita Bates-Diop, someone you've probably never heard of, and a Brooklyn second-round pick. So basically just Mikal Bridges. That's what the Knicks got. Brooklyn received Bojan Bogdanovic, Shake Milton, Mamadi Diakite, who's, you know, none of those players are anything great, but they received the Knicks 2025 first, Milwaukee's 2025 first, Brooklyn's 2025 second, the Knicks 27 first, the Knicks 28 first with a pick swap, the Knicks 29 first round pick, and the Knicks 2031 first round pick. So that is 6 first round picks, a second, and 3 players for Mikal Bridges.
8 picks and 3 players.
Woof.
And, like, think about who could become available.
Yeah, if you're the Brooklyn Nets, that's certainly a haul that would entice the Denver Nuggets, I would have to imagine.
Maybe we can do this another day. But I was spitballing this earlier while I was breaking some cards this morning on a stream. Who could actually trade for Jokic? Like, Brooklyn could put its entire team. We'll give you whatever we have. I'm trying to think. Miami, I don't think has enough. Maybe the salary. I don't know.
I think off the top of my head, Brooklyn and Oklahoma City are the only 2 teams that have a shot.
Chet would be a part of that for sure.
Well, they have 1 million picks too.
Yeah, I mean, Oklahoma City's a real destination. It's real. I'm sorry, but when LeBron retires, if I was going to make a slight bet today, it would be Jokic and Doncic in LA.
And that is the betting favorite as of right now for Jokic's next team. 2027, they are both free agents. Almost as if they planned it together.
Now, Skaz, can we just get this out of the way? Because isn't it funny when we slacked about this today, I go, get ready for the Tatum for Jokic.
No.
And what did Josh our intern do immediately? Would you trade Tatum for Jokic? It was like on point, dude.
Yeah, no, I would not.
No. Would I do Brown for Jokic?
Yes,
Yeah.
without a second thought.
Yeah, but would
And that's not an indictment on Jaylen Brown.
no. Would Denver?
It would have to be much more than
You'd have
just
to.
Jaylen
You'd
Brown.
have to give up Jalen and Thomas.
Pritchard, Hauser,
Yeah,
picks,
you'd have to give them
maybe
a lot.
Holiday. Yeah.
Like they'd have to field a team with that. I'm out. Would I listen? Jokic ain't coming to Boston, everybody. Can we stop it now? Should we just from now on this show? No Jokic to Boston?
No Jokic for Tatum trades.
Okay, no Jokic for Tatum. From now on. No Jokic for Tatum. And if it happens, it's an automatic dump. Like we should have a flushing of the toilet sound. You know? Someone says, "Hey Joe, what do you think about Tatum for Jokic?" We should just flush him right down the drain. That guy's pissed that I brought up championship coaches being fired. And I said, hypothetically, Skess, if the Celtics struggled this year and into next year, could he be fired? And someone thinks I'm sickening for that? I can't believe that.
Just a quick anecdote on Mike Malone, too. He is from Queens.
Oh, really, Skess?
He was an assistant at Manhattan College.
Oh.
He was an assistant with the New York Knicks. And his father was an assistant with the New York Knicks.
I've already given my spoiler.
Would you fire Tibs tonight for Malone? Before the playoffs? Would you do it that quickly?
I would. This reminds me of in 2002, right? The Celtics, the stories, guys. They played the Nets in a 7-game series. They had no business really being in the Eastern Conference Finals. The Nets were a loaded team. Jason Kidd, Carlos Boozer, Kenyon Martin,
Was Scal still there?
He was, yeah. But Danny Ainge knew, this group wasn't for the future. And people were kind of pissed because they just made the Eastern Conference. But, in reality, the team had, they maxed out, you know? The New York Knicks have maxed out with Tom Thibodeau. With Tom Thibodeau, they've maxed out. So today, if Mike Malone was I don't even know, can Mike Malone even coach? I don't even know how that would work. He's fired, so is he? He probably wouldn't get the rest of his money in Denver. Is that kind of the story?
I have no idea.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
For real, I don't even know if it's possible. But if it was possible, I'd be all over it if I was the Knicks. Because at least you try it out, right? Maybe Malone's like, hey, listen, we can't run the pick and roll with Brunson and we need another big here. And you know what? I know Karl Anthony Towns had 34 points tonight, but was it effective? What I mean by it was he had a good night. I'm not discounting it. Porzingis' was more impactful. Who's supposed to be a better player? Karl Anthony Towns or Porzingis? There's no question, right?
I'm sure Knicks fans would have told you Karl Anthony
That's what I'm trying
Towns
to tell
by
you.
a landslide.
Tonight, Porzingis was better than him. He was better. By the way, the spread, the Celtics were underdogs opening line because they didn't know who was playing. It closed at 2.5. Jaylen Brunson, 3 at the buzzer. 119-117. Tell me they weren't on that one tonight. Tell me they weren't on that one tonight. We got to tell the people what happened over at Fenway Park tonight. And we also got a present from Fenway Park tonight. We'll tell you what that is after the headlines here. I'm Joe Murray, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Celtics winners tonight, 119-117. Jason Tatum tonight hit a 3 to send it into overtime, and then they won.
Motor and Maz are just his pregame.
They've been getting wholesale deals for years.
It's Joe Murray on the Sports Hall.
Here as well. And we have some more thoughts tonight on the Celtics as well. I just wanted to give a shout out to Crispy Crunchy Chicken. We did a segment a while back where we went over all the new the foods that you could eat at Fenway Park this year, and one of them is Crispy Crunchy Chicken. They're stepping up to the plate with a major milestone. They're now the official fried chicken of the Boston Red Sox, and you know what they did? They said, hey, do you guys want to try some samples? And we certainly did tonight. The jumbo chicken tenders were breaded, fried, crispy, perfection. The chicken sandwich, that chicken sandwich was good. The very bold flavor. The bread was nice, buttery. It was really good. And just unmatched crunch and flavor. And the sauces galore. I had the barbecue. I had the sweet and sour. I had the ranch. And I had the crispy, crunchy chicken sauce. So it was absolutely outstanding. So whether you're at the ballpark or on the go, crispy, crunchy chicken, sure to be a fan favorite for years to come. So one of the new foods now over at Fenway. And I believe they have a location over on Tremont and Roxbury. So go check it out. I'll send it out on Instagram and Twitter so you guys can take a look. But go check them out. Continuing with the Celtics tonight, we got some quotes after the game. We'd love to run on this stuff, but we're a one-man show here, back here right now. Is Jason Tatum itching to defend the title is one of the quotes. Defend the title? Nope, not defend it. Okay, nobody take away what we did last year with the champs. It's a new season, a new year. We're trying to go win another championship. That's one of them. Then it's, Porzingis had some interesting quotes. Skaz, I know you saw something that Porzingis said tonight.
Yeah, and so I don't know if this was said just directly. I don't know if this was on the post game or not, but he was asked about Jaylen Brown, and him playing and all that, and Porzingis said he's a tough dude. He always preaches his warrior mindset, and he lives by it. But to what extent do we need that right now? Maybe he needs to take care of it and make sure he's going to be ready for the most important moments. To me, that sounds like Porzingis is a little worried about Jaylen Brown's knee. Sounds like he's saying, look, Jaylen, we all know you're tough. We all know you want to play through this. But to what extent do we need that right now? Porzingis saying that and saying maybe he needs to take care of it and make sure he's getting ready, to be ready for the most important moments. Like, I want to give Porzingis credit for being the kind of the vocal guy on this team, and it's tough because he's not a guy that's out there every night. So, can you look at him sideways if you're in that room and say, oh, this is the guy that's going to preach to me about, when I should take time off and missing games. But if anyone knows what that's like, it is Porzingis. So I think that he does have that going in his favor. But also, like, Jaylen and Porzingis are very close. I think that's something the Celtics kind of needed and lucked into with the Porzingis trade, is they had no idea what kind of guy in the room Porzingis was going to be. And Tatum has Horford. He has Derek White. He's talked about numerous times how Al Horford is his favorite teammate ever, that, Al taught him how to be a pro, all those things. Jaylen kind of was missing that guy, and Porzingis came that guy. They, I don't know if they lived in the same place, but they were carpooling at points last year. The cookies and cream thing we got. So I take this as Porzingis. I don't want to say calling him out, but saying, hey, let's look at the big picture here. There are bigger things on the horizon.
I think if there's anybody to say it, it's Porzingis. Right? He's close to him, as you pointed out. He's also one that knows what's best for the team when it comes to injuries. And back to why Jaylen didn't say it's about the money or anything like that. Maybe he just doesn't know. Like, I don't know. It's a back-to-back. He didn't play in the fourth quarter. Like, does he know if he's going to play tomorrow night?
I would imagine he's not going to play tomorrow night, and then you get him for 15 minutes the final two games of the season.
Me
but
too. And if that's the way they play, he doesn't know.
Maybe he does know.
Maybe he does.
Maybe he does.
What? I don't care. You know what? I don't care for the reason what he says. You know that? I'll start by that. A lot of basketball players say things, Kaz, and they just say it, right? All I know is this. The Celtics are the best team in the world when Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown played at that level. And last year, Jaylen Brown played beyond any level we've ever seen. And fans know that. People know that. I think the league knows that, and that team knows. When Jalen's right, they're unbeatable. Fact. Final call tonight. Dan's in the truck. Hey, Dan. Hey, Dan.
Hey, Joe. How's it going?
How you doing?
So I'm doing pretty good. So I was actually calling about the whole Thibodeau situation in the Knicks. Like, I get what you're saying, but the problem with the Knicks isn't a coaching problem. It's a roster problem. You could put Malone in tomorrow, and they would be no better than they are today.
I disagree. You know what, Josh? Turn Josh's mic on. What do you got, buddy? Come on. What do you think of that?
I really think I am of the belief that this is a Tom Thibodeau issue, and I love Tom Thibodeau. I think that he's a great coach, but he's not a championship caliber coach. He's not somebody that you can win a championship with, and it's because of the way that he manages his players. It's because of the way that he manages his players. He just them into the ground.
He did win a championship as
he was an assistant, though,
yep.
Joe. I mean,
right.
I'm not giving him credit for that.
Yeah, I think Sam Cassell's great. Could he win one as a coach? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not giving Thibodeau credit as a that's like Belichick putting all the rings on his boat. Ugh.
All right. We'll do more of this tomorrow night. I know we're running out of time. Can I give you one more manager thing tonight that it kind of bothered me? Garrett Crochet tonight on the mound for the Red Sox. Out there with 107 pitches on the coldest night of the year, one of the coldest nights ever. Am I being too hard or obtuse when I say that putting him out there tonight after a 2-run homer? And I know that the fielding was awful.
So,
but not that many pitches when he kind of blew the game already.
Yeah, I mean, I get where you're coming from, and I do think it's a valid point, but he was out of that inning 2 times before his pitch count got that high, and he got screwed by Campbell and Romy Gonzalez.
Should he have started the inning?
I'm okay with him starting the inning because that's why he's here, but I think it's all valid, and maybe they were really just trying to squeeze one more out of him because they've used the bullpen so much so early, but yeah, I like the criticism, Joe. You're watching. You're paying attention to the Sox. That's something we didn't have last year.
I sat here with Matt McCarthy, one of the baseball boys.
Oh,
right?
He's selling the Sox, too. He's selling them. Telling him, well, gotta watch. I'm with him, though. I think he's right.
I don't want to say malpractice or irresponsible or any of that. I just didn't like it. But again, here we are talking Red Sox. Intern Josh, hell of a night tonight, sir. You did great. Go check out our instant reaction. It's posted to YouTube and on Twitter right now. We also did an in or out if you want to check that out. We're back here tomorrow night. Celtics again. Thanks to Crispy Crunchy Chicken. It was excellent. I'm